And welcome back to another edition of VADA Live. I'm your host, Dan Carrigan, and you're tuning in to our special series on artificial intelligence, what it means for the industry, how dealers can really put it to work today and tomorrow. And we're getting together a number of interview subjects, including those at dealerships using AI in various ways, shapes, and forms. And joining me today is Kayla Kody, who is Vice President at Richmond Ford Auto Group. Kayla, bringing the leadership and track record of results for a number of projects in the automotive sector, and of course on a number of podcasts and in the media. So we appreciate you taking time. Kayla, I'm glad to say this too. Welcome back to VADA Live.
Yeah, happy to be here. And there's one thing automotive can promise us, it's a never-ending list of projects, right?
Yes, well, let's talk about one. Maybe AI is at the top of the list of the projects. Maybe it's not right now, but where does it really stand for you at Richmond Ford? And as part of this question too, how should dealers view AI in your eyes now?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And we've been having a lot of conversations about this. And personally, the way I think that you should view AI, and every business is going to be different, but as more of a help than just a solution. It should be used to enhance communication, enhance the way that we're able to help our customers. It really should just be making us better, not necessarily a solution. I see some people upending their BDCs and doing all these things. And make no mistake, if those are mismanaged departments, then yes, perhaps AI could be a viable option, but it's not ever going to, in my opinion, replace the human connection that we're here to deliver each and every day.
When you explain AI to folks in the dealership side, or maybe what you're doing elsewhere, what's your elevator pitch? What are you saying to people?
The very first thing I say is almost cautionary. So I think everybody gets really excited about new tools. I might be one of those people too. But what we have to remember is if you would not shout it across the showroom floor, if you would not have the information sitting out on your desk, it should not be input into AI. We have people uploading financial information, what could be considered trade secrets in some of the larger groups, customer information. Thankfully, none of that happened in our stores because we got ahead of it. But, you'll go around and you'll hear anecdotal conversations and you're like, oh, wow, I really hope you're not using ChatGPT to help you with those solutions. So the first thing I always say is please make sure you're having conversations with your teams early. Be proactive about it. Hey, nothing goes into this. If it's outside of our system, we can no longer protect it. And then after that, I kind of go into this should be a helping hand. You do not need to upload every single email you're ever going to write into it. You should not have it automating everything that you do, especially with customer interaction, because I do believe that takes away the human element. But it absolutely can go in and help with some of that really low-hanging fruit.
With that, we'll say privacy aspect of it, or not getting everything out into the sphere, are there, at this point in time, are you looking into any vendor solutions, anything around that regard? As part of the series, we're actually talking to a few in various areas throughout the dealership. Is that something you at Richmond Ford, the place you're at right now?
Yeah, so for us, it's more focusing on that low-hanging fruit, not necessarily uploading large data sets. We've done things like a customer data platform in order to kind of safeguard some of our information and be able to utilize those data sets, make them anonymous, and then be able to proactively go after and kind of create specific marketing campaigns. One of the things I'm super excited with AI is how it will better suit the customer in their ownership experience and their sales experience. But we can get into that a little bit later.
Yes, and happy to dive into that. Even now we're in a few seconds, Kayla. Yeah, I guess, and maybe a way to ask this too, what do you think, as you look at these things, is the most promising way AI is being applied, and how do you go about evaluating it?
Exactly what I just said. It's the ownership experience. I'm in Ford dealerships. These vehicles have become increasingly complex. Owning one is no longer an easy task, right? Like none of the vehicles we sit in today are the vehicles of the past. They're supercomputers on wheels. I say this all the time. They are complex machines that require regular upkeep that people might not be used to. I mean, we're doing large computer upgrades now rather than, hey, just rotate your tires. Like this is different. And people who are upgrading from vehicles before that existed are struggling a little bit to understand the impacts of how to keep it in tip-top shape. So predictive insights when it comes to service is huge. The second part of that is predictive insight when it comes to sales. I tell all my teams this all the time. This is the second largest asset people own. Coming from home building, everybody loves to see what their home is worth. We do not do an excellent job communicating that to our customers so that they can then enter the marketplace when it's best for them. Instead, we go, oh, is there equity? Oh, yes, there is. Now let's use one of our third parties to reach out. That should be a thing of the past. Those are the types of things that we should really be looking forward to and doing a better job and keeping the customer within our own life cycle.
When you talk about introducing AI concepts, how do you approach that with your team for buy-in or really work to address with this or perhaps any other new tech that it may be able to help to those who may be skeptical?
So obviously depends who we're talking to, right? If I'm going into our BDC or our sales floor, it's going to be, how can you utilize this to make yourself better? How can you take that text that you're sending out 1,000 times per day or take that intro and make it a little more personalized for the customer? That is an excellent use of this. It's just almost training them to be a little bit better when it comes to these mass things that we're asking them to do every single day, right? Like, how can you slow yourself down a little bit and put a little more personalization in this without wearing your mind out? And in that way, AI is an excellent handhold to get that stuff done. For our technicians, it could be stories. Like, you can write it in plain terms and then say, hey, help me a little bit with this and how to put it in for the OEM.
Lessons you've learned, good or bad, anything from AI?
The biggest lesson, I think everybody always gets really excited about these tools. Really excited, and they should be. I mean, this is groundbreaking. We've gotten to see so many changes within the industry, and I'm sure every generation before me would probably say the same thing. But lessons I've learned have been more from news stories regarding Samsung, some of the financial practices where this data is being leaked. I think as dealers, it's our job to kind of sit back, slow down, and really train our team on what can go where. That is the biggest thing to me. So that's the biggest lesson that I hope everybody learns from someone else besides their own dealer group.
Departments, sales, service, F&I, marketing, where do you see the most immediate impact with AI?
If you're just starting out and you want something really easy that isn't going to be, earth-shattering, go look at the emails that are set up in your CRM. When they were last used, go to 2-year follow-up and take those bad boys and plug them in. Please say something about your unique selling points as a dealership, who your team is. Like, don't just put in these basic queries. It's embarrassing because then all of us will be sending out the exact same email. So please put a little bit of information in there and start there. That's a really easy thing to do. Put in 3 email subject lines and ask it which one's the best. I mean, just do something easy in the follow-up process that is low-hanging fruit. A lot of us have third parties for advertising, so we have an in-house team for the most part. But if you do have a third party, you can use it in order to kind of grab some of the things that they're sending out there as far as ad copy and ask, is it the best for my store? Does it have some of those unique selling points? Marketing is a little bit of the low-hanging fruit in my mind. And then obviously some of the follow-up, CRM follow-up for sales.
With the marketing, just focusing on that and knowing there's the digital landscape, the amount of research customers do before even getting to the dealership. And AI may help with that. You exactly where this is going, Kayla. But I'll answer this question very quickly. When they get to the dealership, where is that sweet spot from digital to in-person? And where is that with AI helping too?
So I don't necessarily know that that's so much AI helping. I think you could probably ask AI to say, give me a synopsis of where this customer is in the buyer journey. But most of us have CRMs that are doing that now. I think our job on customers coming in from the research side to really hitting the dealership is that in-between moment. Like, please be prepared when they get in. Do not make them repeat things. That's crazy. Like, don't be the doctor's office. I say this all the time. Do not be the doctor's office where you're filling out the same form 100 times. Be ready for them. And I think this more so comes to communication across teams. If you have a BDC, are they sending over, excited to buy the first car for their kid? Or are they saying, showing up at 4, want to see the Kia? Like that's the difference in the communication level.
Is that the success factor? And one of the questions I wanted to ask you, Kayla, was how do you think success would be measured when it comes to AI adoption and performance? I know there are various ways to go about doing it, even from an ROI with investments, and you talk about getting additional vendor support in there as well. But what do you think it comes down to?
So I think as far as the small scale in-store items, success is measured on, does it make my team faster? Like I said, if they're spending too much time rewriting an email 3 times in AI, it's not actually making them faster. It might be making them a little bit better, but if they're taking the things they're learning and applying them each and every time, great. They're learning something, they're making themselves better. If they're just using it to do all the work, we're going to lose that human element that's so crucial in at least my stores. From a larger scale, I think as this moves forward a little bit, AI is going to be responsible for a lot of the ROI on the inventory side. Predictive analytics when it comes to what is and is not selling, rather than relying on a lot of the look back data, I'll call it, I think is where we're going to be able to measure ROI when it comes to floor plan, inventory turn, perhaps even used car valuations.
As you look ahead, what do you think is going to separate dealerships that thrive with AI, or perhaps, what happens to those who don't adapt?
Yeah, what I'm always harping on is it's the customer relationship. If they're just using, these blanket statements, we're all going to look exactly the same. If we're actually putting in our unique selling points, what makes us us, what sets our team apart from everybody else, how we do a really good job of taking care of our customers, if we input those things in, then we'll be on a better path. If we don't, we're all actually just going to kind of dumb ourselves down in a way.
And acknowledging too that perhaps this is a supplement, not a replacement. Do you see that way at Richmond Ford too? And how do you kind of live that with considering AI and all the other things going on in the dealership?
Yeah, all the other things going on. The 1 or 2 other things going on.
Yeah, just one or two, just a few.
Just a couple of things happening day to day. Yeah, it definitely is a supplement. I absolutely see it as a supplement. I know not everybody's going to sit in that same seat. I've heard friends and colleagues that are like, I just fired this whole group of people and AI is replacing them. Or I think I need less people because AI is going to do this. While I agree that it can absolutely maximize some of those roles, I really don't think it's a replacement yet. We're even seeing AI roll back some of the things it's rolled out. This is still very new. It's one of those things that we kind of have to test. And again, always be thoughtful about the information that we're putting into it.
What's next for you at AI and Richmond Ford Auto?
I used to say all the time that I was more than happy to share anything all the time because what would separate us from everybody else was the amount of work it took. And now AI is making the work kind of go away a little bit. So I'm probably going to hold some of the things I'm really excited about until we're already further down. But I think what's next for us at Richmond Ford is really that predictive side that I talked about when it comes to sales and service. I want to make intelligent outreach to our customers all the time to actually help them. We really should be looking at it as this is an excellent time for this customer to improve an asset that they own. Or this is an excellent time for this customer to really be taking care of this vehicle. That kind of outreach has never really been done before. It's always been, oh, they're in equity, or, oh, it's been 2 years or 3 years or whatever. That's not an intelligent way to keep your customer base, 1, informed, and 2, taking care of them to the best of our ability. We've rolled out mobile service, pickup and delivery. We're getting more into leasing in Virginia because some of the calculations that go into those payments have changed. Being able to input that information and say, hey, what should we be looking for in our data sets is invaluable.
And say I'm a dealer from another corner of Virginia or even elsewhere throughout the country and say, Kayla, I watched this VADA Live segment. I am still skeptical about AI. What do you tell that person? You're
really smart. Everyone should be skeptical, right? Those are the things that keep us from doing things like uploading mass data sets and all that kind of stuff that we get to see in the news. But I would say, like I said, start small. You're not going to make those archaic emails that we're probably sending out, worse. I can promise you that. Start small and see where the value is for your company. We're all going to be different in the processes that we do in many different ways. We're all different in the unique selling points we have as dealerships and our goals. So go ahead and start small, see how it applies to you, and then move from there.
You've been hearing from Kayla Kody, who's Vice President at Richmond Ford Auto Group. Kayla, thank you for joining us on VADA Live as part of our special series on artificial intelligence. If you're a dealer using AI, we want to hear from you. Share your experience. You can email me directly, and you can join Kayla and the others on our special series on artificial intelligence. Kayla, thank you again for sharing your insights. And I'm Dan Carrigan for VADA Live. We will see you next time.